many people, and they also experienced this phenomenon in the mountains. In terms of cryptids, there were a handful. The most common one was the black mountain lion. That we found in northwestern New Jersey as well. A lot of people were experiencing sights of mountain lions that were pitch black like panthers. But the weirdest one that we found was the crawling hand, or the land octopus. And we couldn't find any folklore regarding this either, but it was very commonly reported in the area. And it looked like a hand that was very red and raw, and it crawled on the ground like an insect. And some people said it was a land octopus. Now, although there's a lot of folklore about like inland freshwater octopi in the United States, I couldn't find anything that described a land octopus. And throughout the investigations, we found absolutely nothing. But I started having dreams about the land octopus, and they looked, you know those red onions?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what I dreamed about was the color and the texture of the red onions, but it was like a human hand, or the body of an octopus, where it had a thick part on the top, and it had the fingers or the tentacles on the bottom, and it crawled along the ground. So my investigations yielded dreams, so it might have been an astral entity, but we weren't able to find anything else on it. And that was the spookiest thing that people reported that we investigated.
Wow.
I have a lot more stories. I'll let other people speak, though, and then more.
And Justin, Heather, Hercules Invictus, he's a Greek mythologist. If you want to know anything about Mount Olympus, Greek gods, or Greek history, this man knows it. So anyway, Heather has the answer on who or what Bigfoot is. So, Heather, tell us what Bigfoot is.
I feel like it's orangutans that have escaped. I really do. Joe Martin was brought to America. He worked for Universal Pictures, made 50 movies, escaped 3 different times, once to release elephants and other wolves, and one time he just disarmed a police officer and wanted to play. And they sold him to a circus. They never really said what happened to him after. But he's not the only performing orangutan that would have been around at that time. And it was just this year that was made illegal for them to be owned. There is no regulation, there's no documentation on how many have ever come in. And if they're smart enough to learn how to spearfish, if they're smart enough to learn how to boat and steal boats and mimic so much human behavior, I really don't see how it would be so far-fetched to think that they could live in the forest.
Very interesting.
Hell, they made movies about it. It's not far-fetched at all.
Really? There's a movie about it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, the Planet of the Apes, it's
Oh.
Well, that's a very interesting theory. So,
that's cool.
It's a possibility. What do you think, Hercules?
I think that's very interesting. I don't know very much about orangutans, but I do know that I remember reading an account where the Catholic Church kept sending missionaries to try to convert the orangutans to Catholicism. So I guess they're human enough for missionaries. They're human enough to pull off inspiring a legend.
Yes, I like that, yes.
Absolutely amazing. Justin, it's your turn.
Well, it's going to be a short one again, because I haven't experienced anything.
Okay.
As Paul knew, but like I said, I try. I want to. Like, I even go on my early morning walks out in the creek at 4 in the morning hoping to run into something, but nothing's happening to me. It's just I'm just very curious about everything, and that's why I like to be on here. So.
Oh, fantastic. And what he's talking about, we have in Elk Grove, the Laguna Creek wetlands. And here's the amazing thing. Um, at the Laguna Creek wetlands, there was a giant salamander that was actually seen there. And come to find out, it was two UC Davis people who released a salamander, one of the giant salamanders, at the creek. And this happened, let's see, I've been living here since 1994, so it happened about 1995. So that happened, and that would be considered maybe a cryptid because nobody could understand what this creature was. And along the Sacramento River, sometimes you see giant salamanders, according to fishermen. Also, too, in the wetlands, back in Sacramento in 1950, well, not the wetlands, I'm sorry, in Sacramento in 1953, near the American River, a dogman was actually spotted. And this dogman was seen by this lady and was peering through her window. So that happened in 1953, the one-time sighting. Then in 1962, in Elk Grove, a dogman was spotted in the fields. And the person who told me the story was Darian Wilcox, and he lives now in Seattle. And he says that his mother was the one who actually spotted dogman in the wetlands, and it had red eyes, and then the red eyes turned to silver eyes. Then there's Christian Apple, who most recently saw a very large dog at the Laguna Creek wetlands, and there was nobody walking this dog. And he just thought it was really, really unusual, this huge dog walking down the trail by itself. And then he was wondering, and he did some researching on the internet and found out there was a dogman sighting in Sacramento, dogman sighting in Elk Grove. He was wondering if that might be the dogman. In fact, he wants to actually get together with me and go to the location where he saw this huge dog.
Is the Laguna wetlands the ones right here?
Yes, yes.
I see. Those are the ones that. Jesus. Like I'm literally out there. I'm seriously every morning. I'm out there no later than 4:15, and I'm like, that's the perfect time. But nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
I see the ducks. Yeah.
A lot of ducks. Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Okay. My monster hunting. Okay, I've been a paranormal investigator since 2006. I've been on like 2,500 investigations. I've done a lot of monster hunts. In 2009, that's my monster year. I was contacted by 3 hikers that were hiking in Mount Shasta, and they saw what we consider as a bat squatch. And this bat squatch came out of a crevice, swooped really close to them, and flew off. It had huge wings. They said it had a body of like Hulk Hogan. That's what they described it as. And they said that it had a face of a bat. And bat squatch was actually first seen in Mount St. Helens when it erupted, and they saw this creature. And Mount St. Helens is part of the Cascade Mountain Range, which connects to Mount Shasta. So if you look on the internet, you'll actually see the 2009 situation with those 3 hikers. And I was the first one to report it because they actually contacted me. Okay, a lot of people don't realize this, but in Sacramento, at the Tower Bridge, Mothman was seen. And it wasn't seen just by one person, which is Mark Greer. It was actually seen by 6 people. So if you look up Sacramento Mothman, you'll see that it was seen by several people at the Tower Bridge. It had large wings. One guy who works at Old Sacramento, he thought it was a bruja, a Mexican witch. He didn't think it was Mothman, but he saw something and it scared him so much he actually called the police, and there was a police report done, and they did a investigation, and the police thought that he was telling the truth. So the Mothman incident that happened at the Tower Bridge in Sacramento, it got so much recognition that it was on Monster Quest on the History Channel. So there was an episode on it. Mark Greer actually contacted the Paranormal Hotline, which is my telephone number, and I did an interview with him, and we did an interview with him with News 10. So that was actually on News 10 too. Dogman, Mothman, Bat Squatch, and then I also too got a phone call from some guy from Carmichael. He was out fishing at the Sacramento River, and he claims he saw a water elemental. And this water elemental was actually holding onto a fish, and it looked like an elf, but it was made of pure water. And then it just kind of blended in with the river and disappeared. So you got Wetlash, Dogman, Mothman, Bat Squatch. So actually, Sacramento has a lot of cryptids. So that's my story.
Back in the day when I was in high school, I took a course called Ecology of the Bronx River, and I used to live in New York City at the time, and the Bronx is one of the boroughs, and they had a garden there, and a botanical garden, and I remember we used to go there and we used to climb the sides of the like the hills, and we used to take samples from the river